Hey there, welcome back. And we are back, taking another look inside of this book, exploring even more with Maor. In this book, it's called A Year Without Food. So let's get into the mood. This is Jerome Shaw, host of the Open Palm Podcast, motivator, meditator, coming at you with more wisdom from the ages, from today's modern sages. Thank you again for joining us in the Pranic pages. And you can go ahead and check the playlist before we say this. If you have not yet seen the introduction and the other chapters, you can do that right now or maybe even after. But much love to you. And as we continue proceeding, this is an informal reading, so we'll be touching here and there, just becoming more aware. Understanding mind mastery. Mind mastery is a great topic. It is achieved when we master the observation of our thoughts and we learn to influence and understand how the mind works. I think people are always going to be striving to understand more about the mind till the end of time. With mind mastery, we can achieve character changes, a high degree of optimism, gratitude and happiness, and many other necessary tools to reach our maximum potential. We embrace the fact that we are creators of our own reality, and we take up the reins in our lives. Mind mastery assists us in solving the different mind games in life, and in particular, games that are created by the small ego. The small ego wants to keep us in our comfort zones and make us less confident of our divine intuition. To be a mind master, one should first and foremost understand that everything we feel and think is a choice that we make with our consciousness. Most of the time, we allow our thoughts and emotions to run wild and free, and it seems we have no control over them. However, when we are mind masters, the wheels turn in our favor. There are different levels of mind mastery. I cannot say that I am perfect, but I can say that I have reached a high level of understanding that rarely allows negative emotions to reach me. If they do, they are discharged in a matter of seconds. Achieving mind mastery is a goal I believe everyone should strive for, especially because it affects everything in our lives. It allows us to perceive reality in a better way, to choose how we decide to envision life, and to take control of our thoughts, emotions, and manifestations. So we understand that when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. We need to truly practice it and make it a way of life. It starts just like any hobby, and practice makes perfect. Mind mastery is not achieved by reading books. Our brain is built like a cloud of connections between axons. Each of these connections can be strong or weak. The brain works like a muscle. The best way to describe it is use it or lose it. The mind is like the brain in the sense that if it does not use a particular belief system, it will not generate the connections needed for change. Our goal is to have the mind use a chosen belief system so much that it passes on to the subconscious mind. When this happens, the chosen belief becomes completely automatic. This is what we call a character change, or a change in perception. In essence, we experience a new reality. You become what it is you always planned to become. So it's kind of like Earl Nightingale with The Strangest Secret, that we become what we think about most of the time. Not that we become what we think about some of the time or once in a while, but actually most of the time. We are talking about positive brainwashing. And, some people, when they hear brainwashing, they shy away, but not understanding that we're already brainwashed today. So much information, overabundance of communication that's always feeding the mind, raising or lowering vibration, such as autosuggestion, affirmations, imagination, and guided meditation. All these have one thing in common. They slowly convince the subconscious that something is true. And of course, they influence all that you do, Someone said one time that it's all BS, belief systems, and that a belief system is simply something you've repeated over and over again, This is done unbeknownst to us through commercials, social rules and standards, symbols and music. With mind mastery, you become an observer. You become the intersection police officer who allows particular emotions and thoughts to go through your mind while consciously avoiding others. It is a matter of observing, choosing, understanding, clarity, and persistence. For you are the witness, right? To get our subconscious in on it, some writers will repeat the exact message over and over again using multiple examples and different words. A popular book and movie that uses this is The Secret. Of course, you know The Secret, right? Manifestation, the law of attraction, seeing that natural reaction, right? You can summarize the entire book in a few short sentences, but the writers and producers use a technique taken from different worlds of repetition so that the reader or viewer will subliminally comprehend the message. The Secret is a slow, steady, positive brainwash that teaches the reader or viewer about the law of attraction via multiple examples and multiple speakers. It is not my way to repeat myself, and therefore, I would like you, the reader, to be conscious enough to understand that if you like something you read here or any technique that speaks to you, you should assume responsibility for it. You can read it again, practice it, give yourself examples, share it with others, and use any technique that best works for you to digest it and embed it into your subconscious. This book is about assuming responsibly and understanding the power that we have as individual creators. At times, this power is more than we can comprehend. I am not the type of person who will chew your food for you before you eat. I am the type who will show you your own inner strength and will believe in your ability as king or queen of your domain. We are all magnificent, multi-dimensional beings who have reincarnated here for a short period of time. I trust you to do the right thing for yourself. Assume responsibility for your life, your thoughts, your emotions, everything. Trust that you have an inner guidance that is bigger and stronger than anything external to yourself. Know that you are guided in every situation and that everything that happens for a reason. our comfort zone. When dealing with spiritual growth, we need to define what a comfort zone is. A comfort zone is the place to which we withdraw when a challenge arrives. It is where we are most comfortable and where we are least likely to grow mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Our comfort zone is full of excuses. It is usually derived from our personality, education, social standards, friends, and so on. For example, an individual who chooses not to keep any type of fixed workout may be choosing to be in his or her comfort zone. And as I read this, I'm naturally understanding that even doing this video is me stretching my own comfort zone. So putting this energy through the phone is a stretch of my own comfort zone, where we are willing to hone and become more refined as we give ourselves that time. It is more comfortable to be there, but it is not necessarily a good place to be, especially for one's future. To constantly choose the comfort of your television set over books, magazines, or other imaginative stimuli could also be staying in your comfort zone. Being in a comfort zone is also noticeable in small things. As an example of this is when students sit in a particular chair in the first semester and then go back to the same chair in other semesters because there is a comfort in sitting in the same place. We build many small comfort zones in our lives. The trick is to recognize them and know that you are not dependent on them. Good growth comes from exiting our comfort zones. Do it consciously. Recognize where yours are and go beyond their boundaries. If you get completely cranky when you are tired, it means that tiredness has bitten into you. Can a sensation or feeling be stronger than you are? We choose to feel our reactions, not the other way around. We choose and assume responsibility for every emotion we feel. When someone insults us and we get offended, is it that person's fault or our fault? Of course, it is our responsibility. It is just words that have been thrown in the air and out of a person's mouth. It is easy to blame someone else for our own emotional state. Blaming others is being in our comfort zone. Now, this was something that was made even more known as I was continuing to stretch my own comfort zone. Just thinking to myself that accountability is like a superpower. You know? You can't always count on others, but you should always be able to count on yourself. And that comes with one of the best abilities, which is accountability. You know, even availability, to be available for you. You know, it influences all that you do. But just like Uncle Ben told Peter Parker, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, the response to the ability. And to assume responsibility, to assume the blame, and to stop playing those shame games and guilt games of you did this and you did that and you're the reason I am this. You actually take your power back just by realizing that. It is okay to feel negatively, but we must understand that it is our own choice. We cannot blame others for what we feel. We have control over our own emotional reactions. This might take some time, but when we assume responsibility for every emotion we have, we also learn that we can choose to feel positive emotions and choose to let go of negative emotions quickly and efficiently. Learn to recognize your comfort zones and try to work on them one by one. If one of your comfort zones has to do with emotional eating, try to observe it from a third person point of view. When we become conscious that we are eating out of emotions, such as loneliness, a broken heart, or boredom, we tend to do so less and less. Consciousness is the key. Be strict but forgiving with yourself. Allow yourself to have rules, but also allow yourself to bend some of them. After all, we are all evolving. Self-love is the primary goal. Only after that can we truly love others unconditionally. Your subconscious mind. Woo! Here we go. Your subconscious is called many things. It has many characteristics and is both complicated and simple. When we say subconscious, we actually mean the layer of the mind that we are not consciously aware of. The book, The Power of the Subconscious by Joseph Murphy, is excellent for deeply understanding the best methods for working with your subconscious. I definitely recommend that one. Think of your mind as a flower and your subconscious as the ground that holds the seed. One can only see the flower, but the seed and roots are where the flower's program and nutrition comes from. Reminds me of James Allen, author of As a Man Thinketh. And it taught me that a mind is a garden. Our thoughts are the seeds. And that we can grow flowers or we can grow weeds, right? One can only see the flower, but the seed and roots are where the flower's program and nutrition comes from. What we decide to seed and feed our subconscious roots is very important, as it determines what we experience in our outer world. A basic understanding of the difference between our conscious and subconscious is that the subconscious mind does not understand the way the conscious mind does. The subconscious has no logic. It is a place of symbolism, shapes, and association. It is not a place that knows how to analyze. Kind of like how they say the subconscious never says no. It always says yes. It's always taking everything you say and feed and seed in the affirmative, right? It doesn't hear the word no. It just says yes, and that's where it goes, right? A simple repetition of an affirmation before we go to sleep will cause the affirmation to sink into the subconscious mind, even if we do not consciously believe it. Try this, for example. Take 2 minutes of your time now and simply repeat to yourself, I am feeling better and better. I am feeling better and better. I am feeling better and better. Say it slowly and do not change your tone. Be monotonic. Let the message subliminally sink in. Give it a try right now. Don't postpone. Really, give it a try right now if you want to internalize this lesson. So, feel free to pause this video and give it a try right now. Say it out loud and commit to the full 2 minutes. Do not do it halfway. Don't let your small ego think that you understand the lesson when you have not followed the rules. Okay, let's analyze what just happened here. Your conscious mind does not really believe that what you simply say will come true. These are just words tossed into the air. But what was your sensation after saying, I am feeling better and better for a full 2 minutes? Didn't you feel better? This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, methods that directly touch the subconscious. Our above exercise is not one of them. It is just an example of how an affirmation, without even placing intention, can instantly change your mood. This example shows us a very important lesson. What we put into our subconscious mind is what will sink in. The words we choose and our intentions all go through the subconscious. This is why mind mastery is so important. Imagine how many things go into our minds daily. Imagine how many commercials we see and how much violence and negativity we get exposed to and get used to. It is so much that we cannot distinguish it any longer from our normal lives. Become a mind master and see what it is attempting to go through your mind. Choose what you will allow through. Choose positivity and optimism instead of negative thinking. Choose to see good things in people before you judge them on their undesirable qualities. There is something that is called the cocktail party effect. Imagine you are sitting in a cocktail party and around you are many different people distributed in different groups. They are spread around, sitting in different locations in the party. Each group is engaged in a discussion just like you are probably engaged in with someone. Suddenly, you hear your name coming from a different group. How can that be? Your attention is fully focused on the conversation you're engaged in. However, your subconscious listens to everything continually and is much stronger than what we get credit. Your subconscious is like the National Security Agency, the NSA, screening phone conversations for the word bomb. If it hears something familiar, a red flag immediately comes up. If you hear your name or the name of someone important to you, the subconscious will listen closely. The cocktail party effect is used in marketing. For example, stores play music because they prefer that our brains not think too hard about what we buy. For them, it is better that part of the brain be used to analyze the music subconsciously so that we become a more susceptible shopper. Didn't know that. I have given this example to try and show how strong our subconscious is and how important it is for us to create filters for it. So kind of like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, stand guard at the gates of your mind. You shall not pass. The main words here are conscious choice. Choose your music wisely, as your brain will flag all the words it hears with associations, which can be negative, like in some certain types of music. Choose your movies carefully, as your subconscious mind will always try to identify with the different characters. Choose your friends and the people you hang out with. Learn how to use the subconscious in the best way. Learn that it is a part of you and can be used to plant new seeds if you want to change something inside yourself. The subconscious is the ground in which we plant our seeds. It is the land that our flower eventually grows upon. Don't feed it bad nutrition. So realize that this should be one of your ultimate missions, to feed your mind nourishment and good nutrition. Realizing what you've been told or what you've been sold is actually what you've bought. If you feel like you are caught, for the knowledge that you have sought, realize what you actually need and what you do not. The power of words. When we are babies, we do not yet think in words. Our world is completely abstract. Words add a frame to our world. As we grow up, we slowly change the way we think from pure thinking to inner dialogue that use words. This means we lose some of our imagination and some of our uniqueness, but we gain the ability to communicate with others. When you say a word, you release its energy to the outside world. The outer world is made up of the physical world we know and other more sophisticated, energetic existences. This includes the existence of a hierarchy of other sentient beings, like other life forms, planets, and angelic light forms. Our intentions, emotions, expectations, and words are used to create our world, whether we are aware of them or not. So words create worlds, whether we're aware of them or not. Food for thought. Learn how to choose your words wisely, since they invoke strong symbolism in your subconscious. And I like that, invoke, right? Almost like words are spells, you know? And I'm sure you can tell. And if you realize that power, you'd feel it as well. Regular uses of negative words, such as hate and fear, have an effect on your brain and your subconscious mind. Choose your words wisely. Train your mind to reduce the usage of negative words. Learn how to be a yes person who sees things optimistically. And this is not egotistically or even realistically, but optimistically, you know? And logistically, you can see how it would make sense. Not to always be on the negative side of the fence. Our words build our world and our perspectives. Using words such as yes, abundance, pleasure, and other positive words create positive effects. Negative words bring you negative effects. When we use the language of intention, imagination, and manifestation, we are limited to only using words because before we learned language, our thoughts were abstract. So it's kind of like I am. You know, someone once told me that I am is an acronym for intention, action, and manifestation. You there? Enjoy your walk. And whatever you put after these words, I am, they become an eventuality. Because I am shapes your mentality, which shapes your reality. Right? Language has limited our inner dialogue to words. Giving compliments is a great exercise in choosing the right words. I love doing this. Find any reason to give somebody a compliment. As soon as I meet a stranger, I meet somebody at the cashier or in the grocery store line or, you know, at a different shop or a different area or in the park, you know, immediately my mind has been trained and ingrained now to find something good about this person. What's good about this person? What's positive about this person? What's nice about this person? And I just go out of my way to express it, you know? And when I go out of my way to express, actually, we both become blessed. Because they have a feeling that they are even more without feeling that they are less. There are also so many compliments that we can give when we learn to appreciate small things. And who does not like a compliment from time to time to provide large or small ego some food? Affirmations. There are two very important rules when choosing the correct phrasing in making affirmations. The first is that we want to state it in the present tense. For as we know, now is all we have, right? Today is the only real day. Think of the difference between saying, I'm going to have a beautiful day, and I'm having a beautiful day. That reminds me of Adam Lands. Shout out to Adam Lands. I was working for a company that hosted kids dance competitions. And I remember I was like, man, I can feel it. Today's going to be a great day. And Adam Lands, he was like, he's so sharp, so cool. He was like, man, today's already a great day. How about that? I'll never forget it, You just never forget certain things that people say if they impacted you in a profound way, And that day I was like, today's going to be a good day. And he was like, it's already a good day. How about that? He just opened the floor. He just opened the door for me to just accept that today could be whatever I design. And if I realize that in the moment, I could shine, When we affirm in the present tense, we signal our subconscious that this is the one and only reality. Our life is perceived through our own two eyes. If one convinces the subconscious of what one wishes to happen in the now, it is received as a command as simple as that. The second rule is always state your affirmations in the positive. The subconscious receives words literally. If, for example, you have a weight problem and you wish to give yourself positive affirmations to deal with it through intention and the use of correct words, you wouldn't say, I do not want to be overweight, as the subject of your affirmation will be overweight. You would instead say, I am healthy. I am in shape, right? I am thin. The focus and subject of the sentence is no longer the weight. I learned a good method from a great master of happiness. Wow, isn't that something? To gain mastery. It is simple and it works. Every morning, when you wake up before you get out of bed and put your feet on the floor, say, I am having a wonderful day. Give yourself a big morning smile. Do not say, I am going to have a great day, or this day is going to be wonderful. The emphasis here is on the present moment and on knowing. When you know, you simply know, right? Like Morpheus told Neo in the dojo when he was throwing blows, right? Arms, knees, hands, and elbows. And Morpheus told him, stop trying to hit me and hit me. You're faster than this. Don't think you are. Know you are. The difference between knowing, When you attach this affirmation to your smile, even though you have just woken up, the brain makes the connection and starts perceiving your day with a positive attitude. As we all know, a great start to the day usually brings continuity. Try it for a few days and see how you feel with it. Understand that the power of words and positive affirmations, both within yourself and in the outer world, is a great instrument for mind mastery and self-improvement. manifestation. Understand how powerful your mind really is. And I feel like I myself and a lot of us, we really just don't even know how powerful we really are, you know? I'm still discovering every day, you know, in every way. It blows my mind. In the book, Reality Transurfing, the Russian author Vadim Seland explains how our mind sends out signals that are accepted by our reality on different levels. These signals are no different from peptides or hormones signaling the cells of our body to function in a certain way. The stronger and more frequent the signal is, the stronger the inner cells react to the request. Hey there. When we want to manifest, we can use many different methods. Some of these methods were known and already understood a long time ago. They were used by various religions, and some of them continue to be used today. However, not necessarily for the betterment of the human race. Kind of like how they say nothing new under the sun, you know. But the knowledge is here for everyone. A prayer is a way of signaling the universal spirit. Call it whatever fits your belief system. What we want. Using our imagination to vividly picture what we desire in specific detail is another. The strongest aspect of these methods is intention. Placing our intention into the thought, the prayer, and into imagination adds emphasis to what we want to manifest. The signal is caught by our reality and raises the chance of it happening, right? Kind of like Ralph Smart, you know, infinite water is diving deep once again, raising the frequency, raising the vibration, right? He's always doing that in conversation, but that's actually a cosmic communication that he's putting out on each of his videos, you know? The signal is caught by our reality and raises the chance of it happening. This is why group meditation, group prayer, and anything else done in a group creates a strong ripple in the space of variations and attracts and creates a stronger potential future in the direction the intended thought is aimed at. Woo! That's a good one. That's a big one. So we understand that we are actually stronger together than we are when we are apart. There's an African proverb that goes something like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together, right? There was even an illustration I remember, Caesar, one of the apes on Planet of the Apes, Caesar the Great, the leader of the pack, took a bundle of sticks, right? First, he took one stick, just a twig, and he said, apes alone, weak, and snapped the stick. Then he took a bundle of sticks and he brought them together, right? The same stick, same twigs, but he put them together and he said, apes together, strong, right? Couldn't break it. So when you're in a collective, it even enhances and energizes the perspective, and it makes it that much stronger, the pull for the directive, you know, for you to even see faster your own objective. Words have strong associations in your mind. When you think or hear a certain word, neurotransmitters immediately start running all over the place to close a circle and bring up a memory by association. Think about the word terrorist and see what associations you get from that. Think about the word nature and see how you feel about it. By knowing that everything in our mind works, from word associations that connect to emotions, sensations, and feelings, we can choose to unlearn and relearn the associations and cast them in a perspective we prefer to have and consciously choose to have. So realizing that these words that we consciously use are actually the words that we consciously choose. If you live in a prejudicial society where minorities receive racist comments, try to see what the media or society places in your mind in association with that minority via social standards. You will probably find many generalizations. Interrogate the social standards and try to see how many of your current associations are there because of conscious decisions you have made, and how many are there as a result of your education, religion, or social expectations. You will find that many of your associations were not even chosen by you in the first place. This is where the process of unlearning begins. Unlearn as much as you can. It reminds me, when Dr. Strange was on his trek up the mountain to Kamartaj, one of the acolytes and disciples of the Ancient One, just before they were opening the door to Kamartaj to invite Dr. Strange inside, he said, "I was once like you." Disrespectful, right? Because Dr. Strange was arrogant, right? He said, "A word of advice. Forget everything you think you know." He didn't say forget everything you know. He specifically said, forget everything you think you know. I thought that was a very important distinction. And then he allowed him inside. And the rest is history, right? But even more powerful than learning often is unlearning, right? Go back to the point in time where the associations were created and make your own decisions, right? Have your own visions, make your own decisions. If the word school comes back to you as a traumatic memory, imagine a new association. This applies to everything. For the new associations to become habits, you need to repeat them and catch the previous association as it happens. Here is where mind mastery comes into play, together with initial determination. Remember that you are a mind master. You can catch yourself thinking negative thoughts and replace them with good and positive thoughts in your mind. The good news is it only requires a little consciousness and attention to get started. Once you do, you are on a roll to change your perceptions of everything. My former boss once told me, life is like a beehive. You need to know exactly where to look in order to see only the honey and not the bees. Choose your perspective and change all your brain connections to be perceived how you choose them to be perceived. There is so much to appreciate. There is more complexity in a single leaf. Wow. More complexity in a single leaf than in our most complex supercomputers. Can you imagine that? Wow. We are surrounded by amazing human beings who share life and love with us. We have health, nature, loved ones, and many other gifts. Everything we have can be perceived with wonder, amusement, and joy. It is a matter of choice. Practice makes perfect. We are who we think we are. Deleting old connections can be done just as easily as making new ones, right? It's kind of like Eminem. You know, Eminem, he's a rapper. He said, I am whatever I say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am, right? So we are who we think we are most of the time. When you become good enough at applying these methods, you will find that a simple intention and decision to change a thought is enough to make it happen. So one of the greatest inventions is actually your intention. Do we even need to mention? It is enough to tell yourself, I am happy, to create the sensation immediately all over your body, and to understand that you truly are happy. When you are a breatharian, you will want to change the way you perceive food and remove old mental dependencies, replacing old connections with new ones. Beautiful. And we'll take a pause there, and we'll continue next time as we continue to redefine and realign with this wisdom of the ages. From one of today's modern sages, this has been Jerome Shaw, and thank you once again for tuning in to the Pranic Pages.